Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. All right. Let me go get this shit back up. Can you hear me now? All right. Now I got it. Got it. Yeah, what it is, I had to hook up a mouse, and I think when I hooked up the Bluetooth to that, it shut the mic off. But all right, let's go to. Oh, where's my Chrome tabs? Nope. All right. So yeah, Roman Kopylov's in the next fight. I mean, I'm going to end up taking him here against Chris Curtis because Chris Curtis is 37 years old and he trains with that douchebag Sean Strickland. Curtis is a good striker, but he doesn't have much power. I just see Kopylov picking him apart in this fight. Let's see what the odds are. But yeah, like I said, I just can't believe that Austin Bashi guy. Yeah, I mean that's what the UFC does. They ruin fighters' careers. They just ruined a 23-year-old kid's career, just like they did with that stupid Rojas kid. I mean, what are you matchmakers doing with a 23-year-old in his first fight in the UFC, matching him up against a kid like that? It's just, it's not a smart thing to do. So no. Yeah, they're still at a commercial break. This commercial break's been on for like 5 minutes now. Yeah, they didn't even show the walkout. They're just the fighters are already in the ring. So can't even get my bet in. Nice. But yeah, I just think Kopylov's gonna piece this guy apart. Um, all right, I got it in. So yeah, we're on the Roman Kopylov side. Yeah, Kopylov, 6 foot 185. He's got a good build for this weight class. He's definitely a karate guy. He's got the karate build to him. But this fight, like if there was a prop bet on there and like the over under on the amount of time these guys are going to spend on the ground is probably 5 seconds, and I would take the under. But Chris Curtis, I mean, he does train out of Extreme Couture, so he has to have wrestling in his background. All right, Curtis versus Kopylov. Just about to start. All right, bouncing around. Chris Curtis doing the high tight guard. I love that from being a boxing fan. He fights like a boxer, and heavy on the front foot forward. Comes forward with with just a high tight guard that's hard to hit. It's hard to land punches in there. And when you're straight training with Sean Strickland every day, like how to avoid punches. Your defense is good. Like if you look at him, like he's in distance to get hit, and he's not getting hit, and that's the sign of a guy who spars a lot. Because Strickland does the same thing. If you notice, Strickland will just kind of stand there with his feet planted, and he's just waiting to counter. That's what Curtis is doing. It's just they're kind of bouncing around. They're exchanging jabs. Um, Kopylov's he's obviously the taller of the two. His punches are landing, but they're not landing clean because that's the thing about Chris Curtis. It's hard to land a clean punch on the guy. Oh, Kopylov just landed a kind of a straight jab. Is a power jab, we'd call it in boxing. Oof, man, and a nice 1-2 he landed on Curtis. Curtis is not doing much. He's never been a high volume fighter. He feints a lot. He just threw an overhand left that landed. But Kopylov's punches are coming straight down the middle. They're coming straight down the middle. Curtis's are looping over. That's not a good thing. The guy who loops their punches, they're not going to land. The guy with the straight punches will land first every time. But the hook is obviously more powerful if it does land, but usually don't. Now Kopylov's teeing off on him here. He just landed a nice 3-punch combination. But Curtis takes it. Like they look like they're landing, but they're not landing hard on Curtis. Yep. Just exchanging jabs, kind of moving around, feigning. I mean, no one even thinking about a takedown. This is just going to be what the fight is, and it's probably going to go 3 rounds, and it's going to go, hopefully for a Kopylov decision. But yeah, Kopylov looks good. He's winning the round, but he's not hurting Curtis with anything. He's landing some solid punches, but Curtis he gets tagged and then he keeps coming forward. Ooh, Kopylov went for a single leg, but I think that was just to get Curtis's guard down, get him thinking. Yeah, Kopylov's jabbing, jabbing, jabbing. Chris Curtis is coming forward, but man, Kopylov just went for another takedown. I don't think he's actually trying to go for a takedown there. He's kind of going just to get Curtis thinking about something else and maybe drop his guard. But yeah, Chris Curtis is coming forward. Now he's got the, front hand kind of low. Yeah, almost like a Philly shell, very defensive stance. But Curtis is standing right in front of him. And now he just closed distance, landed a great uppercut against Kopylov. Kopylov got caught with that. He got stung. Curtis does look very comfortable in the striking. It's just Kopylov's landing more. He's landing more. He's landing straighter punches. And it doesn't matter if they're landing off the gloves. They're landing. Now, Curtis just throws like 5-6 punches right in a row. They don't really land, though. Kopylov with a head kick that glances. Yeah, see, what I think Curtis is trying to do, he's trying to smother the longer guy, and it's a smart route. He keeps coming forward. Kopylov kicks the leg, kicks the body. Curtis lands a nice jab in there. Yeah, it's hard to tell if Curtis is sometimes throwing a jab or a straight because he switches his stances a lot. He switches his feet around. But the other thing is, I mean, Kopylov's a pasty white dude. He's marking up, and his face is a little red. But man, he's piecing up Curtis now. He just landed about 4 or 5 punches. Kopylov just spit his mouthpiece out. Looked like it definitely fell out, but Kopylov goes a spinning back fist miss, comes back with a jab at the end of the round. I give that round to Kopylov, but that was a very busy round for both guys. Curtis usually doesn't fight like that. Good job for Curtis. He still lost the round, but like if the fight keeps going this way and Curtis picks up his pace, he's landing on Kopylov. I think he can hurt Kopylov, and I don't know if Kopylov can hurt him. So even that, yeah, even though you lost, you looked good in there. Like that's one of those rounds nobody really loses, but I'm not one of those idiots who gives out 10-10 rounds. I despise that in combat sports when people give out 10-10 rounds. You can give out a 9-9 round for like points taken away or whatever, but like make a decision. Who won the round? There's 5, 6 different criteria that you have to go off of, and you can't pick and see who won the round. Maybe it was a tie on a few of those criteria. There's no way every criteria can be the same. Like make your decision. And that was a very close round, but I give it to Kopylov for the clean punching. Clean striking, I guess. It's MMA. All right, they come out second round. Kopylov's jabbing. Curtis is coming forward. He's jabbing. Kopylov goes with a 1-2. See, he lands his 1-2, but then Curtis counters him. So that's another reason why this is a tough fight to score, because Curtis is doing what he wants to do. He will take 2 punches to land 1. And now he's landing more punches than Kopylov. He's kind of piecing Kopylov up here. Curtis might have his range down and his speed. I mean, Kopylov I love the straight punches. It's definitely not hurting Curtis. And Curtis can just keep coming forward like this all night, it looks like. I don't know if Kopylov can fight like this. Now Kopylov's all bloodied up. Those jabs and shit that Curtis is just kind of peppering through, like they're getting through and they're cutting him up. It's not a good look for Kopylov. Now he's wiping at his bloody eye. That cut is in a very bad spot. It's right above his eyebrow. Curtis is just piecing him up here. He's walking him down with a Philly shell, southpaw stance, and just jabbing, 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 and then throwing a straight. And he's piecing Kopylov up here. Yeah, Kopylov looks kind of scared. He's very timid to throw punches now because he knows he's getting countered. Jeez, this is this is not a good fight card for me. I mean, the only time Kopylov is doing good is when Curtis decides not to throw. But Curtis, in that time, he's just getting your timing down and everything. Like Kopylov just threw a jab to the body that went low and hit Curtis in the cup. You don't see that very often. To try and reach down with a jab down to the body and hit that low. Okay, Curtis blocked it with his hand and it went low. So, what are you gonna do? All right, Curtis comes back. Yeah, he's just landing 1-2s all day on Kopylov. Kopylov throws a nice body kick. Curtis comes back with a jab and then a leg kick of his own. But Curtis's blows are definitely more damaging than Kopylov's. Like I said, in the first round, Kopylov's were a little bit more clean. But now it's Curtis landing the cleaner punches, and he's landing the harder punches too. And Chris Curtis looked great in his last fight. Like I think people, including myself, are kind of writing him off because he lost his last fight. Like I remember that fight; he looked very good against Brendan Allen. Kopylov just landed a nice straight left. Now Kopylov pokes him in the eye, and we got a stoppage. This is good for Kopylov, the stoppage, but man, he doesn't look good in there. I mean, it's definitely a competitive fight, but Chris Curtis, like the momentum is turning. Chris Curtis is asking him to wipe his eye off. That's something different they do in the UFC than or in MMA than boxing. You're not allowed to give somebody a freaking rag to wipe their eye off. Well, maybe because they don't have eye pokes in boxing too. But you're not allowed to help a fighter do something like that or wipe his eye off because of the blood or anything. Like you're not allowed to do that. in boxing. And I don't know why the rules are different because it's the same athletic commission. But I see him do that a lot in the UFC. So we're back to the fighting. Chris Curtis coming out. Like Kopylov looks like he got a fire lit under him. Maybe he's throwing more, but he's jabbing, he's jabbing. Eventually, that's going to get countered, and it's not really landing. But Curtis ain't throwing much. Curtis just got caught with a straight left that caught him off balance. Um, Now Kopylov lands another one. I think he's going after that eye that he poked him in and taking advantage because he can't see the punch coming. But yeah, Kopylov is just all busted up. He's coming through at the end here. Um, Curtis reached with a straight left. So this is the rare southpaw versus southpaw matchup that you don't get very often. But Curtis seems way more well adapted to handle that. I can't imagine Kopylov has fought too many southpaws in his career. Chris Curtis probably spars with him every day. All right, Kopylov just throwing like 5 or 6 punches, but nothing landing. Um, and then yeah, he backs off, throws a 1-2, then maybe one of those will land. But Curtis looks very comfortable in there. So by body language and everything, Curtis looks like. But when Curtis slows down, he gives Kopylov that opportunity. Now Curtis is starting to tee off. Kopylov lands a great straight left. Kopylov lands a 1-2-3 and a body kick. But Chris Curtis is coming forward this whole time. And Kopylov just landed a straight left. That might have stolen the round. Uh Kopylov's face is beat up, and that happened all during this round. I still give that round to Kopylov. I think Kopylov's up. I think he won that round with that last punch. He got Chris Curtis off balance with his punches twice in that round. So, like that to me is more that should speak higher in the judge's eyes than the damage to Kopylov's face. But I know like damage is supposed to be the number one criteria in MMA. But like this is why damage just like I don't like it. I don't like it because in a fight like this, Kopylov's landing hard punches. It's just Chris Curtis doesn't bleed. But yeah, I mean Curtis looked really good at that round. And then there's another thing, like it's a little saying we have in boxing, like the judges tend to remember what you did at the end of the round. And Kopylov came on at the end of the round and landed. I mean, that straight left would have put most dudes down. But because Chris Curtis does kind of like the Philly shell, he's already leaning back. So he kind of rolls with that punch, but he rolled with the punch and it still knocked him off his feet. Or it had him wobbling and he didn't go down or anything like that. But it's just not a good look in the judge's eye. This is a very hard fight to score. I mean, maybe you have it 1-1 or 2-0 at this point, but yeah, Sean Sheehan just put up his scorecard. He's got 2018 Kopylov. But I would not feel comfortable if I was on the Kopylov side. Like you have to win this round. Curtis coming forward. Curtis is slowing down. His output just went way down, and he is 37 years old. He just had a 5-round war with Brandon Allen. Kopylov's landing some good strikes in there. I don't think they're hurting Curtis, but they're landing. Now Curtis starts up with a jab. Kopylov goes down to the body, then back up, and then Curtis just rips to the body with a hook. That was really good. Kopylov, man, with that power jab, that's a ballsy move. Like what we call a power jab in boxing is when you actually step in with the jab. You don't just throw it, you step in with it. That's a very dangerous punch to throw against a counter puncher, but he's doing well with it. And it's given Curtis something to think about because he's got to cover up when he does that. Kopylov jabbing, jab, 1-2, jab, 1-2. Chris Curtis just dancing around, feinting, coming forward. That's just what he does. He's not throwing a lot. I don't think he's throwing enough, and that's what I said in my prediction video. Chris Curtis is a great striker. He's a great counter striker, but he doesn't have power. Oh, Kopylov just caught him and got him on. He's got him on wobbly legs. He's going in for the fin. Oh, maybe Curtis wasn't hurt, but Kopylov's definitely taken this round. Man, just Kopylov, just 1-2 and then a rip to the body. That was beautiful. Kopylov with a hard leg kick on the lead leg. Straight 1-2 down the middle. Yeah, Chris Curtis just coming forward. Kopylov's just kind of dancing around now. I think he knows he's won the first half of this round. He might be trying to take a little break. Chris Curtis is trying to chase him down right now. And yeah, he landed a jab uppercut combination. That was nice from Curtis. But now Kopylov is putting like 3 punches together, but Kopylov's hands have coming down a lot. He's definitely feeling the pressure. I'm not saying he's gassed, but he is a little tired out there. Yeah, the numbers are way ahead in favor of Curtis. I don't ever pay attention to CompuBox stats. Like, this is a perfect fight. There's no way Chris Curtis landed 30 more punches than Kopylov in this fight. Chris Curtis just jabbing. Kopylov's kind of like taking the rest of this round. Oh my God. Kopylov just went for a single leg takedown and got it. Now he's on top of Curtis and minute 30 left. He should be able to hang out here. Man, I don't remember the last time I've ever seen Chris Curtis in the on the ground like this. He's on his back. Kopylov's going, trying to go into side control. Chris Curtis gives up his back in order to give up, and it works. It works. But now Kopylov's on his back, and he kind of wrestles him right down to the ground. But now Curtis is back up. So, Chris Curtis, he got that scramble, but now Kopylov dives in for another takedown. I think he's tired. I think Kopylov's tired. Yeah, these, God. I don't know how people in CompuBox still have a job. They're not even, they have Chris Curtis outlanding Kopylov in this round. There's absolutely no way that is happening. Chris Curtis just coming forward. They're both tired. Kopylov's landing the cleaner shots, and he's landing more of them. I don't care what those dumb CompuBox stats say. Roman Kopylov is taking this round. All right, now Kopylov's got him up against the fence with 20 seconds left, trying for a takedown. Chris Curtis goes for a guillotine, then throws a knee, but it doesn't really land. Kopylov is tired. 6 seconds, they're just banging it out. Oh my God! Kopylov just hit him with a high kick. They ended the fight in 1 second. Wow. Wow. Roman Kopylov, KO, 4:59 of round 3. Amazing. Yeah, Curtis doesn't like the stoppage. But he was on Queer Street. He was on Queer Street. The standing TKO stoppages don't happen a lot in MMA, but I agree with that one. Chris Curtis is pissed. And it's kind of like, straight left caught him, had him on wobbly legs. I want to see if they show the high kick again so we could see how bad he was hurt. It landed clean. It landed right on the neck. Yeah, so Curtis, it lands, and then Curtis like stumbled and fell down on all fours, and Kopylov just didn't follow up, and the ref just went in there to stop it with 1 second left. Now I've talked to several referees in boxing, and they say something different. Some of them say it's my job to know how much time's left on the clock, and others say it is not my job to know how much time's left on the clock. So that ref, that is a good stoppage. Chris Curtis seems like he's trying to start a fight with Kopylov's corner, or maybe trying to get to the ref. He is pissed off about that stoppage. I think it was a good stoppage. I know a lot of time those guys, like, they don't think they're hurt, and it's always after the fact. They don't think they're hurt. Like, dude, go back and watch it. Like, the guy's just looking out for your best interest. Yes, you can sit there and say that, like, dude, there was 1 second left and the guy wasn't even following up. Why are you stopping the fight? Hindsight 2020, that's fine. But I would much rather you go on the side of caution and potentially save a fighter's life. I think it was a good stoppage. Roman Kopylov gets the win, and that'll be a TKO 459 of round 3. Wow. Did not see that one coming. I think this was a fight where I told people, like, man, just hammer that fight to go to distance or the over. And I mean, it definitely hit the over, but not the not the fight to go to distance. I would be pissed if I had that fight to go the distance. That was a tough one to lose. And I'd be very interested in, like, I'm gonna go read up right after this these fights to see what the scorecards were, because that's not I feel bad for Chris Curtis. But it was a good job all the way around. I understand why Chris Curtis is pissed. I understand why the ref would stop that fight. Nobody's in the wrong. They both got merit for. Yeah, Chris Curtis he's trying to protest. He's given Kopylov, respect. He's not mad at him. Kopylov's got a huge gash over his right eye. Yeah, that cut it was in a terrible spot. Good job for the cut man for taking care of that cut the whole fight. That cut is really bad, and it's right over his eye where it could bleed into the eye. Yeah, they're interviewing Kopylov now. Uh, that was a great fight, though. That'll probably be that's definitely a fight of the night. And hey, early contender for knockout of the year. Yeah, I was very shocked. Kopylov, he got 2 takedowns, or at least attempted 2 takedowns in in that fight, and that was he got them both. That was really surprised by that. Kopylov is a really good fighter. So now he's beat Cesar Almeida, who was, the hype job that he beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing. Then he came into the UFC, and then they feed him to Kopylov in his last fight. And, like, I had Kopylov in that fight. So he beat Cesar Almeida. And for some reason, Cesar Almeida is fighting in the next fight. Why he wouldn't be fighting before Kopylov, I have no idea. Because the guy he's fighting is worse than Chris Curtis. Like, I that math just doesn't work for me. Um, but yeah, solid win by Kopylov. Solid win by Kopylov. So yeah, let's see what the next fight is here. I think it might be that Cesar Almeida fight. It is Abdul Razak Alasan. Not impressed with this guy whatsoever in the UFC. Definitely got some power. Absolutely no takedown ability, although I just said that in the last fight and it happened. But yes, this Cesar Almeida guy. I mean, the guy beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing, also lost to him twice. But if this is an all stand up fight and there's no threat of a takedown, why would I not take Cesar Almeida? Like, that's the way I see it. I believe he's like minus 300. He's like minus 265. Not bad. Not bad here. What the hell happened to my screen? All right, so yeah, I love Cesar Almeida in this fight. He's minus 300. Like, yeah, let's just go with freaking Almeida. Almeida should beat this guy on the feet. I mean, this guy's only chance is going to be a Hail Mary KO. I just don't know if it happens. Not like I don't see a guy like Cesar Almeida with all that kickboxing experience getting caught with a Hail Mary punch. I don't see him losing 3 rounds. I'm sure this other guy is going to be pressing forward, trying to land a big punch, but Cesar Almeida has to be smart enough. And I just don't agree with this. This should have been a prelim fight. I don't agree with this being on the main card. Definitely shouldn't have been above Chris Curtis and Roman Kopylov. And yeah, Cesar Almeida, like since he had that whole career in kickboxing, it's they got to kind of move him along fast here. So that's why he's fighting on the main card. Could also be in his contract that he has to be on the main card, like that Gracie guy they tried getting in a couple of weeks ago. Like I was like, why is this guy on a main card? Turned out it was in his contract that he had to be on a main card in all of his fights. And then he just showed up and butt scooted for however long the fight lasted and lost. Yeah, they go quick for these Apex fights, so they should be starting to walk out now. They just did the little 30-second preview on each fighter. But I gotta see what my website's got here. So yeah, they're showing the highlights. Like it's weird that I don't know how this guy beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing. Like he doesn't look like Alex Pereira's a tall, lanky guy. Like this guy doesn't have that type build. He doesn't have that kickboxer build like the tall, skinny guys. That's just what they are. Like he looks more like a Muay Thai fighter. Yeah, this Razak Alasan, he just like he's muscled up and everything. He's got a lot of power, but I know he doesn't have any wrestling in his background. So I just don't see him being able to win a fight like this. Almeida 275. Yeah, so my website's got Almeida minus 275. I mean, I like him. Like this Abdul Razak Alasan guy, he's from Ghana. That's another thing. Like sometimes I think the UFC signs fighters just because of where they're from to grab that fan base. I'm not hating on that. I just tend to I fade a lot of those guys who are like one of only like 3 fighters from their country fighting in the UFC because it makes me think that they're not their talent's not there. They just got signed because of where they're from. That's just my view on it. But so yeah, let's go, Almeida. All right, they're just walking into the octagon now, getting the Vaseline on them, getting ready to go. Yeah, Alisson, I mean, man, this guy is built. He is built really good. The only thing is though, man, you see it all the time with those guys that are built with too much muscle like that. You know, they don't have the greatest gas tank. So that's another thing I worry about with him. This Cesar Almeida, unless there's some wrestling involved, which I don't see it, Almeida's not going to run out of gas. He's built. He's got that. He's not cut up or anything. It doesn't look like he cuts hardly any weight for this weight class. But he's walking to the ring, very just kind of a stoic guy. Not much of a look on his face, not too hyped up. Just there, man. Just there to take care of business. TCOB. Just there to take care of Yeah, so out of Almeida's 6 wins, 4 of them are finishes. He's just a phenomenal striker. He's probably one of the best strikers in the UFC, and we'll see how he does. Um, yeah, see, they pushed him a little too far with that Kopylov fight. Now, Kopylov actually does have a little bit of wrestling in there, and he's a very technical boxer. So that's how he beat Almeida. Um, this Alisson guy, he's not better than Kopylov. So like, I don't see him being able to beat Almeida here. Like Almeida's one of my favorite picks on the cards, and Alisson's 40 years. He's 39 years old. Almeida's 36, but I'm going to call that a young 36. Joe Martinez announcing the two fighters. I mean, Alisson, he looks like he's ready to go, man. He looks like he's ready. This could be a banger. I actually see this one going the distance, though. I think Almeida just kind of picks him apart, and Alisson maybe gets tired, but the threat of him landing that home run punch, maybe Almeida won't go for the finish. That's my thoughts for this one. Yep, they got Almeida as a minus 260. I just got him at minus 270. Oh, my boy Mike Beltran in the ring to referee to fight. All right, here we go. It's about to be fight time. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Touch of gloves. Man, Almeida just so stoic, just walking forward with the glove touch. Alisson, he looks ready to go. But I mean, to be honest, I usually side with the guy that seems more relaxed in there. Man, he's got that weird kickbox stance. They're just kind of dancing around. Almeida's actually the one coming forward with a leg kick. Nice leg kick. Alisson's trying to step forward now. Both kind of feeling each other out. Nice leg kick from Almeida. El Hassan just throws 3 hooks, 2 hooks in a row. Neither one of them landed, but they're very, very wide punches. See, these are the things I think he's going to get knocked out if he does that. Alisson just shot for a takedown. I did not know he even knew how to do that. But hey, maybe they've been working on it for this camp because of who this guy is, because that's the blueprint to beat him. Uh, Almeida with a nice little leg kick, inside leg kick. Alisson is heavy on that front leg, and man, he's throwing bombs. Everything is overhand, nothing is straight. Oh, and he just got countered. He threw an overhand right like an idiot and got countered with a left hook or a right hook. Yeah, those punches are too wide from Al Hassan. And man, Almeida is just in there and he's just laser focused. Now he's backing Al Hassan up, outside leg kick on the lead leg. That lead leg's getting beat up already. Um, Lead right hook to the body, left hand upstairs from Almeida. And now Alisson landed a little overhand right, but he's not setting up any of his punches. Everything comes off the jab. You can't throw a hook and then another hook on top of it against a kickboxer like this. He's going to counter you. He's coming forward. Almeida's just standing there, body kicking, leg kicking. Al Hassan throws a high kick and then a body kick. Doesn't do anything. Al Hassan shoots for another takedown. So yeah, that's definitely in his game plan. They must have worked on that a lot in this camp. He is a strong looking guy, but you also got to remember, what do you think Almeida's working on in his camp? He's done 30 plus years of kickboxing. He doesn't need to work on that anymore. He's probably working on his takedown defense. And if wrestlers can't take him down, I don't think you're going to be able to. But Alsan's got him up against the cage here. He's just holding him there. He's not working for a takedown, it doesn't look like. But he is leaning on him, maybe trying to wear him out. But with his build, I mean, I would say maybe he's wearing himself out a little more. Plus, Almeida's throwing a few knees in there into the body. But Alsan does have him against the cage. He's had him up against here for like 25 seconds now. Now, Almeida just backs off the cage, and we're back in the middle. Now Almeida's got him almost. Oh, shit. Al Hassan just caught him. Big punch. Almeida goes down. He's covering up. He's trying to pull guard. Alsan is on top of him. He's trying to get a hold of him. But Almeida's just moving around a lot, trying to cause a scramble. But man, this Alsan guy hits hard. And he's landing some punches, but Almeida's trying to stand up. And now Almeida's up, but he's a little woozy from that punch. That punch was that hurt him a lot. Jesus, El Hassan is just swinging for the fences. Almeida's kind of out on his feet. Oh, no, Almeida just knocked him out with one punch. Oh, man. Oh, man. They were swinging. I said it from the beginning of this fight. You do not throw two hooks in a row. You will get countered down the middle. That's 101 in boxing. That's 101. You don't do that. He tried going in for the finish. He got cocky. Oh man, what are you doing? Even though I won my bet, I hate to see guys lose like that. Like, man, what are you doing? Al Hassan had him hurt, and he tried going in for the finish. Like, set that up, dude. Set it up. Wow. Wait till you guys see that knockout. That's the knockout of the year so far. I'm calling it. Best knockout of 2025. Man, when you guys see these highlights, Al Hassan hit him. Okay, maybe that punch didn't hurt him that bad, but it definitely knocked him down. And then, yeah, he kind of had him rocked. But yeah, he went for a left hook and it got countered with a straight left. That's what you do. Man, what a great fight. What a great fight. I mean, shout out to Rahasan. Like, that's his only chance to win. It's just, man, wow. Yeah, they're showing the commentators now. Apparently they were going nuts too. Wow. Wow. That was amazing. That reminds me of, if you're a diehard UFC fan, I know you remember Pete Sell versus Scott Smith about 20 something years ago. I think it was Scott Smith hurt Pete Sell really bad to the body and actually broke his rib with a punch. And Pete Sell went down onto a knee. When Scott Smith ran over to finish him, Pete Sell came up and threw a bomb and knocked him out. That's kind of what it was like, because Al Hassan had him hurt and he went in for the kill. But I don't care how hurt Almeida or you thought he was. You can't go in there throwing wide punches with a guy that's that good in striking. I mean, do it against a guy like that Bishi guy who fought in the 2 fights ago. But wow, what an awesome, awesome fight. Great fight. I mean, I don't know who's gonna get fight of the night. Maybe they'll just give Almeida performance of the night or knockout of the night. But Kopylov versus Curtis deserves something too. To see, these are the 2 fights that I thought should have been co-main events as well over this next fight coming up. And we just saw how good these fights were. Chris Curtis, Roman Kopylov, Cesar Almeida, and Abdul Rahman are all better than Santiago Ponzinibbio and Carlson Harris. I don't know why this is co-main event, but it proved that the UFC got this one wrong with not putting either one of these fights in the co-main or the Thiago Moises fight from earlier, because I believe Thiago Moises was the best fighter on the card, and they stuck him in the prelims. Yeah, Ponzinibbio versus Harris. This is another one. One guy's like 37 and the other guy's 40. But Ponzinibbio just has a much better resume. He's fought everybody. I know he's had a lot of injuries, but yeah, Ponzinibbio. I'm just taking him by decision here. I'm not even going to bet this fight. I don't like betting the pick'ems in MMA. I can never get it right. Now they got Ponzinibbio up to minus 140. That's interesting. He was minus 110 last night. But yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Well, let's look in a little bit more into these guys' resumes for this upcoming fight here. Ponzinibbio's from Argentina, the Argentine Dagger. Yeah, American Top Team. I love that. Love American Top Team. Love betting on their fighters. In his last 2 losses, yes, he did lose, or his last 2 fights he lost, but Muslim Salkov's really good, and he lost a split decision. Kevin Holland is, if he shows up to fight, he could beat anybody. It's just he screws around sometimes, so he loses, but he didn't screw around against Ponzinibbio, and he won. He knocked out Ponzinibbio. That's not a good sign that he's getting knocked out by a guy like Kevin Holland. His chin might be gone, and I believe Carlson Harrison can punch. He did beat Alex Moreno. See, that's the fight I'm looking at where I'm like, Ponzinibbio he still might be Ponzinibbio. Hey, what's up, Gino? Gino, I got the whole family in the chat. Gino, my dad, my other brother out in Vegas. What's going on, guys? Gino, you just missed a hell of a fight, man. You'll have to look up the highlights for Almeida versus Al Hassan in this UFC. That was just an amazing knockout. But yeah, Ponzinibbio here. So, a lot of red on that thing. Yeah, lost 4 out of his last 5. But Michel Pereira, Jeff Neal, Kevin Holland, Muslim Salikov are all a lot better than Carlson Harris. So I don't take much away from those losses. He shouldn't be beating those guys. He shouldn't be fighting those guys at late 30s anyways. But he's got to win against Alex Morano in there. Alex Morano's better than Carlson Harris. Miguel Baeza, he was kind of a hype job that got checked. Yingliang Lee, everybody loves that guy. I think he's the Japanese turtle, they call him. Neil Magny, Mike Perry, Gunnar, Nordine Talib, Zach Cummings, Court McGee, and Andreas Stahl. That's the Santiago Ponzinibbio that I remember. Oh, and he beat Sean Strickland in 2015. But he beat Sean Strickland, lost to Lorenzo, juiced the gills in that fight. But yeah, Court McGee, who still fights in the UFC. Zach Cummins was a really good wrestler. Nordine Talib is Nordine Talib is actually the soccer player Neymar's bodyguard. Nordy Talib was a really good fighter out of Canada, and he beat him. Gunnar Nelson, Mike Perry, my brother Bernie's boy, Mike Perry, the real African, Neil Magny. These are really good wins by Ponzinibbio. Carlson Harris doesn't really have any of those on his resume. Let's see. Yeah, see, don't know. I don't recognize the fight team. He's out of a weird country. He lost to Chaos Williams. I'm not going to take anything away from him there. Chaos Williams knocked him out. Jeremiah Wells is a good win in his last fight. Jared Gooden, not too good. He probably, yeah, you won. You should beat him. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Jesus Christ, couldn't beat him in an MMA fight, I don't think. Impa Kasaganai is a really good win. Christian Algeria, that's nothing special, but he won. He's winning the fights that, when they put him in there to win, he's winning. But, this guy who he fought in another organization, this Yarhasa Hussein, I think this guy is big in PFL. I think he's in PFL or Bellator right now, and they got him. They're trying to hype him up a lot. So this guy's actually a good fighter that he beat in another organization. But in the UFC, man, you haven't really done anything. You've only had, he's got 6 fights in the UFC, but Ponzinibbio's got a lot more experience against a lot better competition, except for Shavkat Rakhmonov. But you lost to Rakhmonov and you got destroyed. So, but the Impa Kasaganai is a really good win. Jeremiah Wells is a decent win. So maybe Harris is better than I expected. But unless Ponzinibbio is completely shot or he's injured, we'll see. Let's see if anybody else fights out of this fight club. Because it's the other thing. I worry about these guys coming from these gyms in these countries where there's not a lot of MMA, because I worry about them getting sparring partners. Oh, okay. He's actually he trains in Brazil. Okay. So yeah, he's from another country, but he trains in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. There's probably a handful of good fighters in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, there's a few fighters in there. I'm trying to think if I recognize any of the names. I don't recognize any of the names, but there's some Nascimentos. It's not any of the ones that are the Nascimento that's in the UFC, though. Yeah, I don't recognize anybody, but it's a gym of MMA fighters, so we'll see. But that's another thing with Ponzinibbio training an American Top Team. Let me just give you a word of advice here. Like, if anybody's, if it's a pick'em fight like this is, maybe just go to the who's got the better training camp. When you see American Top Team and then you see a gym that you don't recognize, just kind of gravitate towards the guy with the better team. Just because those teams are very good at putting a game plan together. Like, I say it so many times in like the sport of boxing, like people think boxing is an individual sport. It's not. You have to have a good team around you. Your skill and talent will only get you so far. Once you get up to a certain level, you better damn well have a good team behind you and a good coach that can put together a good game plan, because eventually your skill ain't going to be enough. Your will ain't going to be enough. Your toughness ain't going to be enough. You need to hear what you need to hear in the corner, and you need to hear it in training camp. You need a coach to push you further than you think you can go. That's one of the biggest things of any coach out there. They need to figure out how to drag that out of you, and the really good ones can. So, yeah, good training camps. Let's go with Ponzinibbio here, but I'm not going to bet this fight. All right, let's see. Oh, they're doing a preview for Makhachev's fight. I think that is the next UFC, isn't it? The Islam Makhachev fight. Man, I love Sarukian, but I'm not betting against Islam Makhachev. Like, even if he's like minus 500 or something, like, to be honest, you could put him at minus 1,000. You could put him at minus 1,200. I'm still gonna take Islam Makhachev. Like, not bet, like I said earlier in this. Like, I'm not betting against him till he loses. Arman Sarukian. Yeah, I mean, he beat Oliveira in his last fight. He's really good. It's just like maybe striking would be the one thing where he's better than uh, Islam at. But I think Islam can take him down. And Sarukian is a really hard guy to take down. It's just I'm just saying that because it's Islam. Let's see who's on this card. Wow. There's my brother's fight of the year right there. His boy Benil Dariush against his other boy, Money Moicano. Man, they still got Dariush ranked in the top 10. That guy's been ranked in like the top 10 for his whole career. It doesn't matter how many times he loses or if he doesn't fight for 2 years, they just keep him in the top 5, top 10 because he just lost to Sarukian. He just got knocked out. And Money Moicano's been doing nothing but win, and he's only number 10. And he's a very marketable fighter. I don't understand that about the UFC sometimes. Yeah, Ponzinibbio's ready to go. They're just warming up in the back room there. Yeah, this Carlson Harris, he just doesn't look like much to me. I mean, but let's see. Let's see. There's a reason why this fight's a pick 'em. I would probably put this fight at Ponzinibbio minus like 200 or 250, but I think Harris was the favorite at the beginning of this fight. So yeah, they're just in a commercial break now. But I mean, the card's going pretty good. I mean, I got two losses, but when you bet favorites, like you don't like to lose at all. And it's not good because the problem is one of the fights we lost, one of the guys was minus 290. So to make up for that, you have to win three fights after that, which we did. But that just brings you back to even. So you could say, like, I won 3 out of 4 fights. Yeah, but you're even now. So that's what happens when you lose that one fight in there when they're somewhat big favorite. But we're definitely still up money on the card. And it's going good because my last pick of the night is going to be Dern, and she's an underdog. So hopefully, if we can win this Ponzinibbio fight, it's just like it's guaranteed money, and then you're in the black, and then you just throw a little bit on the underdog in the main event. That's just what I do. Like when it comes to the main event, I wait to make my pick and see how the fights went earlier. If I have a really good card, I'll just sprinkle a little bit on the underdog. Like even if it's a really heavy favorite, I don't like taking them after I've had such a really good card because that one fight at the end can destroy your whole card. Happens to me all the time. Trust me. All right. I'm going to check the score to my Steelers game real quick while they're in commercial. Let's see how this is going. Uh, I'm a big Steelers fan, but I did bet Baltimore money line because the best advice I can give you from a gambling perspective is not to bet with your heart. You bet with your head. And my head says, I think Baltimore is going to win this game. Let's see what the score is. 7-0 Baltimore. All right. And Baltimore's driving. Let's go. Pittsburgh doesn't even deserve to be in the playoffs. They should have thrown Cincinnati in the playoffs over them. Yeah, let's go. All right, they're just doing the little 30-second preview for each fighter. That little thing. Yeah, Ponzinibbio with that 30-8 record, like he is. This Harrison guy, like he's 37, but he's only got 18 fights. That's weird. Yeah, just showing some highlights, and of course, like, dude, they can make anybody look good in these highlights. They were showing those highlights of Igor Prateria in like one of the highlights they showed in there was against Michel Pereira, and I was like, he got knocked out in 54 seconds, but they just showed him like dancing around with Michel Pereira in one of the highlights. That's how much they had to reach to get good highlights out of that. Oh, oh man, that's weird. They just showed Ponzinibbio getting a takedown against somebody. I don't think I've ever seen him take anybody down his whole career. I didn't know he did that. But this will be an all stand up fight. If anything, Carlson Harris is going to be the one trying to shoot for a takedown. But Ponce, man, his ears look like they are about to bust. If glove, that guy's going to be. So they're showing Harrison's highlights. A lot of Harrison's highlights are on the ground. He's getting submission, an anaconda choke. Um, Maybe that wasn't an anaconda choke. Bernie would probably correct me on that. Yeah, it was one of those like north south where the guy's arm is hooked in here, but it's a north south choke. I don't know if they call that an anaconda choke or not, or a north south choke, maybe. Yeah, Harrison's walking to the ring. He looks like he's ready to go. Nice and pumped up. He's got his I don't know what country that is, but it's somewhere in Africa, I'm sure. So the half Africa, half Brazilian flag, pretty cool. Get a sip of water. Yeah, Harris just getting to the ring, just doing the old Vaseline on the face. The corner's trying to hype him up, doing that, slapping him on the chest thing, getting him ready. Shortest average fight time. Wow. So Carlson Harris's average fight time is only 6 minutes. It's very, very short. He's got 6 first round finishes, 5 wins by knockout, 6 by submission. But you know what? It all looks good on paper. It's just shit, fucking error. But it looks good on paper. But I read down his resume, like it's not the best of competition, and it's not anywhere near as what Ponzinibbio has faced. So yeah, like this is a fight where I think if Ponzinibbio loses, it's because he's kind of shot. That water bottle is the best, Gino. I'm on my second bottle today. Yeah, maybe once I get bigger, I could get them to sponsor me. What's the name of it? Like yeah, Zulu. Zulu, if you're watching, you can sponsor this and just give me another free water bottle, please. All right, Ponzinibbio walking to the ring. He looks a little soft in the belly. Ponzinibbio is usually a ripped up dude. The comparison I always had for him was like a poor man's Robert Whitaker. But I remember some of the freest money I ever got was he was a pick'em against Court McGee years ago, and this was when Court McGee was coming back from his heroin addiction. Um, they gave me a pick 'em odds with him and Ponzinibbio just took a 3-round decision from him. I remember I was at my good friend Dominic's house. I believe it was the same night as Alabama playing Notre Dame in the national championship when Alabama beat them by about 76 points. But I think it was that same night, and man, I just I couldn't believe the odds on that fight. Yep, still in the ring, still waiting for the fight to get started. Like usually these Apex fights, they're really quick. I don't know why they took a little pause in between this one. Oh man, Gino, you want snowboarding? How was the powder, bro? Probably pretty good with all this freaking snow we've been getting. Yep. So their odds they got Carlson Harris is plus 110 underdog. He's 2-2 in the UFC as an underdog. I like when they put that information out there. Oh, nice. Woods Valley. All right. Yeah, you got to teach me. Yeah, right. I got a better chance of figuring out this whole computer before I figure out snowboarding. To be honest, I never had the balls to go snowboarding. I was always a skateboarder. I loved skateboarding. Just never got into snowboarding. Also because it's an expensive sport, and I don't want to put mom through that. She had to put Burn through hockey. I stayed with the cheaper sports like the winter. I was I was basketball stuff. I mean, she had to pay a lot for my skateboarding clothes. Yeah, it would be a cool experience just to like go down the bunny hill or something like that. Or maybe do they allow sleds at the snowboard park? I'll go sledding there. All right, fight just started. We got Ponzinibbio coming forward. Man, Carlson Harris is very tall. They said he was 6 foot. He looks taller than 6 foot. He looks like he's got at least 2 inches. Ponzinibbio coming forward, both just very bouncy, light on their feet. Both just throwing feints out there, not much punching. Ponzinibbio throws a jab to the body. Jab up top. He's backing up Harris, which Harris should not be letting him do that. You got to take the center of the ring. You got to establish your jab. Ponzinibbio just landed a beautiful straight right. And Ponzinibbio, he's light on his feet. He's jumping in, throwing a 1-2, and then jumping right back out to get out of range because Carlson Harris is a lot longer than him. Harrison jabbing, kicking. Now he's trying to start backing Ponzinibbio up. Lands a nice leg kick on Ponzinibbio, but Ponzinibbio's coming forward. Ponzinibbio throws a 1-2. Looked like it landed, but it might not have. Yeah, Ponzinibbio just pressuring forward, and Harrison's just doing a lot of dancing around and feigning. But he's not. He just threw a nice jab or a nice straight to the body from of Ponzinibbio. Tried to counter with a hook from Harris. Ponzinibbio, because sometimes Ponzinibbio he jumps in, but then he doesn't throw, and then Harris will counter him. But if you're familiar with the octagon, like Ponzinibbio has him backed up to where his back foot is over that black line, where they say don't get behind that black line. Harris has been behind it the whole fight, so that means Ponzinibbio is taking the center of the octagon and he's controlling the fight. So when you got to go down to judging criteria, octagon controls one of them. This is what they're talking about. Ponzinibbio's taking the octagon control and pushing him back because as a fighter, you don't want to be over that black line. But yeah, Ponzinibbio pushing him forward with the jab. Not too many clean punches, but Ponzinibbio is throwing more and he's pushing forward. So he's winning the round. But Harris lands one clean punch, could be over. Or it could change the round. Now they're in the center of the ring. This is where, or octagon, this is where Harris wants to be. And yeah, he's doing better from here. He lands a nice jab. See, now you can set stuff up because you're in the center of the ring. You're not worried about a guy pushing up against the fence and you're longer. You're not smothering your punches. But this fight doesn't look like it's going to the ground at all. Neither guy's, like I said, just very light on their feet. Not even looking for takedowns, just feigning and trying to land strikes in there, but not a lot's going on. Very ugly striking. Harris just landed a good uppercut there. That's a key punch for him. Tall, lanky fighters with a couple inches height advantage. Throw an uppercut. Yeah, now it's just kind of like where they both throw at the same time in the same exact punch, and neither one kind of lands. But yeah, not much 1-2 from Ponzinibbio, just doesn't land. Harris goes for a takedown, but Ponzinibbio stuffs it. Jab from Harris gets Ponzinibbio off guard because Ponzinibbio is so light on his feet because he's dancing all over the place, but I don't think it hurt him. That left hook just hurt Ponzinibbio. Harris just landed a beautiful check hook on him. And Ponzinibbio's backing up now, and Harris is coming forward. Now that he knows he can land and he can hurt him. Yeah, Ponzinibbio's chin's gone. He just got clipped on the back of the head by a nice straight right. Man, Ponzinibbio's still on wobbly legs. It looks like he's got blood on the back of his head, but I don't know where it came from. He might be cut on the back of his head from that punch because it landed like way back here, like behind the ear. Oh, he just got knocked down again, Ponzinibbio. Yeah, Harrison's got a lot of power, man. Now Ponzinibbio gets up off the ground, but man, he's wobbly. Ref's taking a close look. Leg kick knocks him down. What? They just stopped the fight for something. Oh, I got the sound off, so I think it was the end of the round. But I thought he was stopping the fight because Ponzinibbio was getting pieced up. But I don't think he gave it 10-8, but very clear round for Harris. Very clear round for Harris. I did say in my video that like if Ponzinibbio's chin shot, he's not going to win this fight. I just didn't think he was this shot, but man, his every punch he takes, I think he got knocked down 3 times in that round. Every punch he gets hit with, he goes down. I mean, yeah, it's a clean 1-2, but like you can't go down from that. Like, and part of it is because he's just dancing around on his feet, and he's so light on his feet that he can't stand there. He can't take a punch. Yeah, he don't look right coming out for the second round. His body language is horrible. Um, man, Ponzinibbio. I mean, we'll see what happens here. But Harris looks really good in this fight. Harris looks really good. Now Ponzinibbio's not even pressing forward. He was pressing forward in that first round, doing good. Now he's not even doing that. Now they're in the center of the octagon. This is Harris's world, or this is just where he's been good in this fight. Yeah, so a lot of people are saying, 10-9 Harris after round 1. That's the correct score. Harris tries with a nice long left hook to the body, but Harris should be jumping on him here, and he's not. He might be waiting to set something up, maybe waiting to counter. But everything he landed in the last round just, had Ponzinibbio going all over the place. Now Ponzinibbio's pressing forward a little bit with the jab. Inside leg kick by Harris. Yeah, Ponzinibbio's throwing wide punches now. He is trying. He just tried with a with a lead left hook, straight right hand combination that missed terribly. But Harris isn't doing anything either in this round. And Ponzinibbio is coming forward, but now he backs himself up into the center of the cage. And now Harris starts lands a beautiful straight right to the body. Nice front kick up the middle. A little sloppy here. Neither guy's landing. Harris looks like he's wearing blood on him, and it looks like he might be cut under the eye, under his right eye. His face is all beat up. Ponzinibbio lands a nice 1-2. Beautiful straight right hand. And now Harris is backing up. Ponzinibbio's something's working for him here. I think that eye is compromised of Harris. Ponzinibbio's coming forward. No, got nothing. Neither guy's doing much here. Standing in the center of the octagon, neither guy throwing nice 1-2 from Ponzinibbio again. Harris isn't even protecting that eye either. He holds his hands down. He also looks like he might be tired. Yeah, nice 1-2 from Ponzinibbio again. Look, it's just simple stuff, man. This is MMA. Like, these guys don't have great boxing background. You can land simple 1-2s. Harrison just caught him off balance with a jab. And it kind of knocked down Ponzinibbio, but he wasn't hurt or anything. And it was just a jab. But Ponzinibbio taking the center of the octagon. Now Harris is pushing forward. Harris lands a good jab. Just kind of dancing around right now. Neither guy doing anything. Nice jab by Harris again. But Ponzinibbio's coming forward. He's throwing here and there, but he hasn't landed anything in probably 45 seconds here. And Harris is doing some good work. I don't know if it's enough to change the round for him. There's about a minute and a half left. But Harris could win this round, even though Ponzinibbio looked good early. Beautiful inside leg kick by Harris. Right in the center of the octagon right now. This fight is just no against the cage or nothing. It's just it's a kickboxing match is what it is. Well, just kind of trading jabs right now. Neither guy's throwing much. Nice left hook by Ponzinibbio. Glances off the chin. Hard straight right hand by Harris. Partially lands. Yeah, Harris's eye is messed up. There's definitely blood there. Doesn't look good for the judges. So in a close round like this, like you probably give it to Ponzinibbio just because the other dude's eye's all messed up. Ooh. They both trade 1-2s and they both landed. That was beautiful. Nice jab by Ponzinibbio. Man, they're just like trading jabs and they both land at the same time. And they both take it well, too. All right, ended round 2. I give that round to Ponzinibbio. But he could be down 2-0. But I got Ponzinibbio 1-1. 1-1, and I don't know who I'd rather be going into this third round. I might rather be Ponzinibbio. Maybe I'd just rather be Harris because there's a chance Harris won both of those first 2 rounds. But I think Ponzinibbio, I think his gas tank is holding up a little bit better, and Harris's eye is compromised. Yep, they're showing him in the corner. It's swollen. Like, where's the blood coming? I know I saw blood. Maybe it's on the side over here, but his eye is definitely swollen. His right eye is swollen, but it's swollen underneath. There's nothing up top, nothing to stop the fight or anything like that. Yeah, Harris kind of got his hands on his hips. He's got blood dripping down from him, but they just showed his face. I didn't see cuts or anything. It's weird. Oh, Harris shoots in for a takedown right away and gets stuffed, and Ponzinibbio threw him down. So now Harris is on his back, but Ponzinibbio is just standing over him. Um, yeah, that's not Harris. That's not your game, Ponzinibbio. Don't hop in there with him. Kick his legs while he's down, and you're getting control right here because he's on the ground too. But Ponzinibbio's not going to the ground with him. Harris is just on his back doing those up kicks. Um, Now he's scrambling for another takedown. Oh, and he got it. Ponzinibbio, what are you doing? Oh, now Ponzinibbio pops right back up. Yeah, most people are saying this is a 1-1 fight right now. Now they're both tired. They're both tired. They're Ponzinibbio's hands are down, but he does kind of have that karate stance anyways. Harris looks probably the fresher of the two right now. He looks like he's moving around more comfortable, but he's not throwing. Ponzinibbio's the one throwing. He's not landing, but he's coming forward and he's throwing. That means he's winning the fight. Man, Harris's technique is terrible for his punching. He throws a chopping punch like this. I don't know how Ponzinibbio can't catch him with a straight when he does that. But yeah, he does land every now and again. And when you land those chopping punches, they usually land behind the head and it hurts somebody. But yeah, neither guy really landing here in the third. Ponzinibbio did a nice 1-2 to the body that just landed. Nice jab that he just landed. They both tried to throw a jab. Only Ponzinibbio's landed. Just dancing around here in the middle of the octagon, not really throwing much. Ponzinibbio goes for a 1-2, doesn't land. Harris lands half a jab. Harris throws a head kick that does not land. Harris is backing up now. Nobody's throwing, though. Kind of just peppering a jab out there with nothing. Great straight left hand or straight right hand from Ponzinibbio. Hits him with another one. He's rocked. Harris was rocked a little bit. Ponzinibbio with another one, too. But Harris isn't. He recovered. No, he just got hit with another one. Now he's on wobbly legs. Ponzinibbio 1-2 again. Now Harris is out, and they're going to stop it. Ground and pound. Oh, Harris is. I don't know why they didn't stop it there. Now Harris gets up and he can't. He can barely stand. Ponzinibbio just throw the same combination. You hit him with the last 3 times. Oh, Ponzinibbio's throwing wide. He can't land. Now he lands again. Every time Harris gets hurt, now it looks like he's hurt. Yeah, just these straight 1-2s down the pipe for Ponzinibbio. Just hit him with another. Oh man, and a left hook on top of it. Dude, Harris is all over the place. Yes, standing TKO. They just stopped it. They just stopped it. They just stopped the fight. Ponzinibbio won. Wow. Oh, and he hops over the octagon and high fives all the commentators. That's great. Uh, which fight are you talking about, Gino? That would be the Chris Curtis Kopylov, or no, the Cesar Almeida fight. Cesar Almeida won. Yeah, all my big picks that I had, which was Cesar Almeida minus 265, Thiago Maizes at minus 165. They all came through. It's just we lost a few of those early ones with those contender series fighters making their debut that just didn't pan out. But we only lost 2 fights on the card out of like 12 or whatever. So man, good for Ponzinibbio. He's had such a great career. I know when I was doing my live yesterday, somebody said he's just showing up for a paycheck. And yeah, maybe they're right, but like that guy deserves his paycheck. And his paycheck's probably a lot higher than most of the UFC. Like some of these guys, especially when you're starting out, you probably get that 40-40 check, like, or maybe a 20-20, like 20 grand if you fight and then 20 grand if you win. But Ponzinibbio is probably up to like a 70-70 or 100-100 because he's been around for so long. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Showing one of these new Marvel movie commercials. Like Harrison Ford is playing a Marvel guy. He's playing the Red Hulk, apparently. All right. Yeah, good knockout from Ponzinibbio, man. All right. Time check the Steelers score. Make sure they're losing. 20-0 Baltimore. Let's go. Let's go, Pittsburgh. God, they stink. This is not your 90s Pittsburgh. Oh, this is cool. So they're interviewing Ponzinibbio right now, but he grabbed Harris aside and like let him get in on the interview because that was a great fight. And man, Harris is one tough dude. He is a tough guy and he's got skills. Both these guys got skills. They're not going to make no run at a title or nothing like that. Yeah. the, yes, the Ravens are rock solid. That's why I picked them to win the Super Bowl to begin the year. And everyone thought I was crazy, but they have Lamar Jackson, who's a two-time MVP, and they have Derrick Henry, who's the best running back ever in the NFL. I have no problem saying that. But that's their difference this year. Everyone says same old Baltimore. It's not the same old Baltimore. They just added the best running back of all time on their team. So that's the difference. And their best receiver is out today. But God, Pittsburgh. Way to end the season with 5 losses in a row, dude. Yeah, I don't have the volume on, but Ponzinibbio's given what seems like a good interview with Bisbing. I like Bisbing. A lot of people hate him. I think Bisbing's a good dude. And Harris is just standing right by. He's kind of smiling the whole time. I love to see that camaraderie or the sportsmanship after fights like this, especially a fight like that. And you know what? I'm sure Harris would have done the same thing for Ponzinibbio. And it's just I love seeing this in MMA. Like I hate the cringe guys that the Conor McGregors and stuff like that. I don't like them. Give me this all day. Like this is way more entertaining than some guy who loses a fight and gives the interview after he got knocked out, just still talking shit after he just got knocked out. Give me this any day of the week. This is good stuff. They're hugging in the ring afterwards. They're about to just go out and get a drink together. Look, Harris, he don't care that he lost. He's like, I just put on a great fight. That's the one good thing about the UFC. Even though these guys lost, Dana White will remember the show that Harris put on and be like, I don't care if you won or lost that fight. I would prefer that over you winning a boring fight. Here's a couple extra dollars. Here's a bonus. And he'll take care of you in the next fight. And you're not going to have to worry about getting cut or anything like that. So now we're getting ready for the main event. The main event of the night. Do the old screen share. Let me find the button that took me over an hour to find last night. So yeah, here we go. I got my new mouse hooked up today too, Gino. So there's another good thing. All right. So let's just look at like the resumes of Dern and Ribas. Man, I was really high on Ribas when she came in the UFC. I thought she was gonna win a world title for sure. She's a very tall, lanky girl. She's got very good striking, and Dern's striking is terrible, but it's getting better. Let's look at Ribas's resume here. Man, what? Ribas, it says she's only 5'3". She's got to be taller than that. 5'3", 66-inch reach. Maybe she's got a long reach. She's decisively tall, but 7-4 in the UFC. But like, all right, her last fight, she lost to Rose Namajunas. Rose is, one of the best fighters out there, even though she's got an 11-6 record. So I don't care about that loss. Then before that, she won against Liana Pinheiro. Pinheiro's not that good, I don't think. Macy Barber is not that good either. That's a bad loss to Macy Barber. She was probably a big favorite in that fight. Let me see if they. Maybe not. Vivian Araujo is a decent win. So yeah, she's just the miss win loss win loss win loss. Her whole career for the last 4 years is all win losses. Going back to Paige Van Zant in 2020, it's win Paige Van. Oh, she got a win over Randa Marcos as well, and yeah, then the Dern win. But yeah, Paige Van Zant. That was a halfway decent win. Then Mariana Rodriguez, that's a tough loss. I don't take anything away from her for that loss. Rodriguez is really good, but Jandaroba's not that good for a win. Caitlin Seminar, I don't even know who the hell that is that she lost to. That's not a good sign for Ribas. And then, yeah, Vivian Araujo, you should beat her. You should have beat Macy Barber too, and you lost. Pinheiro, you should win. And Rose Namajunas, I think Ribas might have been a favorite in that fight. I don't know. But yeah, just win, loss, win, loss. So yeah, if you do that math, she should win this fight. She has a win over Dern already. She is the favorite in this fight, but this is a fight, like I said, I don't take value bets too much, but I like Dern here with the value. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt to assume that she is just getting better. And she's definitely getting better with her hands, but she still ain't that good. Let's see. Trains out of Black House. And yeah, she's coming off of a win against Lupi Godinez. Lupi Godinez is a really good fighter, and she's got a really good ground game. And I think Dern beat her on the feet. But then before that, see, it's the striker she has a problem with. That's probably why everybody likes Ribas in this fight. Is Ribas is a striker, and Amanda Lemos, striker. Jessica Andrade, striker. Zhao Yin Yan, striker. A little bit of wrestling in there too. Mariana Rodriguez, striker. Those are all the girls she lost to. All top-level strikers. But like I said, I think she's getting better in her striking, and I think she has to realize by now, like, stop striking with these girls. Like I said, just learn striking enough to just be able to get close and take people down. A win over Tisha Torres, that's a really good win. I love the tiny tornado, Tisha Pennington now. Nina, see, I thought I didn't know who that was. I'm like, who the hell is Nina Nunez? It's Nina Askeroff. She, that's Amanda Nunes' wife. Angela Hill, that's a good win. People shit on Angela Hill. Angela Hill's really good. And that's a tough fight to win for her because Angela Hill's really good on the feet. But yeah, Ribas is walking down to the octagon now. Let's get back to it. Amanda Ribas, 4 wins by knockout, 4 by submission, second highest takedown defense in UFC strawweight history. Did not know that. That's a good thing to have. But I don't think she's fought in a lot of girls that could take her down. Like, there's not a lot of takedown artists in women's MMA. There's just not. But yeah, 85% takedown defense. That's really good. So if this turns into a stand-up fight, I mean, jeez. Wow, what's up, Bern? I'm riding with your girl Dern. I'm riding with your girl Dern here. Man, he boss at 85% takedown. Whew. I don't know how Dern's going to get her to the ground. And if she stands up with her, she's going to get picked apart for 5 rounds. That's right, Bern. Do it for BJJ. I know. I know. But Hebos has really good BJJ too. It's just if Dern, I think Dern, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dern is very strong too, isn't she? Like this Hebos is built like a string bean. So I think if they get into the grappling exchanges up against the fence, Dern should be able to overpower. It's just she's got to get there with her striking. She's going to have to get past the long arms of Hebos. But I think Dern's just she's getting better. She's getting better. I get it. Sorry, I just had to text my uncle. He's been calling me. He's from Pittsburgh. He's calling me to bust my balls about the Steelers. He's been trying to call me for like the last half hour. Uh, by the way, he hates the Steelers. So he's from Pittsburgh, but he hates the Steelers, and I'm a Steelers fan. So he likes to call me every Sunday to bust my balls about how bad they are. Dern, most submissions in UFC strawweight history with 4. Tied for second most performance awards in the UFC strawweight history with 6. Third most control time in UFC strawweight history. That's good. So something's got to give. Yeah, I know Dern's world class, and that's kind of what I said in my prediction video. Like, because some people said, "Well, Ribas is good on the ground too," and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to matter if they get to the ground. Trust me, it's Dern's world. Um, but it's if she can get there because as as much as Dern is better than Hebos at jiu-jitsu, Hebos is probably equally, if not more better on the feet. I don't know how to say like more gooder on the feet than Dern. So it's just however this fight plays out. And I did say in my prediction video, I said this might be a thing to where what you do is you live bet this fight. If Dern can't get it to the ground in the first round, live bet Hebos. If Dern gets a takedown, live bet Dern. No matter who you think won the round, if that happens, because if Dern gets a takedown in the first round, that means she's probably going to get at least 3 more throughout the fight. But if she doesn't, I mean, she might be in for a long night. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, Jacare and Vieira. Although I remember Jacare got knocked out by Jack Hermanson when he was on top of Hermanson, and Hermanson knocked him out with a punch from the bottom. I remember. But yeah, Jacare and Rodolfo Vieira. Yeah, they're so strong in their jujitsu when they get down there. You know what else though? They don't gas in the jujitsu game. I watched Rodolfo Vieira gas when I forget who he was fighting, but it was just a stand-up fight. And Vieira was he threw maybe 15 punches and gassed himself out within like 3 minutes because his gas tank just isn't used to that. But he can sit there and wrestle and grapple all day and not get tired. It's so weird the way, and they both of those guys, Jacare and Rodolfo Vieira, got a ton of muscle on them. but they don't wear out in the jiu-jitsu world, which to me is way more taxing on the body. But man, Rodolfo Vieira, man, that guy probably couldn't hit a punching bag for 2 minutes straight without gassing himself out. It's weird how that works out. But that happened earlier tonight in one of the fights where a guy who was a wrestler gassed himself out because it wasn't a wrestling match and he couldn't hang on the ground. Oh, it looks like Mackenzie Dern's whole family's there. Her little kids are there watching. Man, Dern's got some traps on her. Yeah, she's definitely the stronger of the two. Definitely the stronger of the two. So let me see. I'm trying to see how these how to get the message to show up on the screen. No. All right, fight just started. We've got Dern coming forward. Dern throws a leg kick. Ribas is very, very feinty and bouncy on the feet. They're both kind of fainting at each other. Ribas throws a nice leg kick. Mackenzie Dern counters with a leg kick. Yeah, Ribas is definitely the taller fighter. Like, and if she's only 5'3", she's got to have 2 or 3 inches on Dern. I don't think Dern's 5'1". I think Tapology might have been wrong there. Both trading leg kicks. Ribas just tried to counter with a nice 1-2 off of Dern's leg kick. Dancing around in the center of the octagon. Spinning back kick attempt by Ribas. Straight front kick. Nice outside leg kick by Dern. Yeah, Dern, she's turned into a full mixed martial artist. She's using all the tools here. She's very comfortable on the feet, and she's hanging there with Ribas. Ribas isn't landing anything. She's the one kind of coming forward, but when Dern decides to, she just darts in. So I wouldn't say either one is controlling the octagon right now. Dern's doing a great job of just lateral movement. Lateral movement is great. Her striking is so much better than what I remember. It's very, very impressive stuff. One second, I gotta plug this guy in. Sorry, laptop was about to die. But Dern closed the distance. Dern gets a takedown. There you go. Dern is on top. Dern's on top with heavy pressure. Good luck getting up, Ribas. There's 2.5 minutes left. Just hang out there, get comfortable. Very top heavy, throwing punches to the rib cage. Keeping her head right grilled into Ribas's face. And man, I love the girls that do that. They braid their hair, and then when you get in a wrestling thing, just put that corn rolled hair right in that girl's face. I've seen it cause cuts. It irritates the eyes. It's very smart for a wrestler to do that. Yeah, Ribas is she's a closed guard. Closed guard, she's trying to do elbows, but she can't land anything. She's just holding on to the back of Dern's head, trying to hold her close, hoping to get a stand up, but they're not going to stand him up, I don't think. Dern's doing enough she's keeping heavy pressure, but she keeps moving her around the octagon. She's not just laying there in one place. Now Ribas has got herself up against the cage because that takedown actually happened in the middle of the octagon. But man, Dern is so smart on the ground. Now Dern's posturing up. And yeah, Hebos is just sitting there in the closed guard. She's accepting this. She's not trying no butterfly guard. No attempts for a sweep whatsoever. She's just holding on to the back of her head. She's hoping for a stand up. But Dern's doing enough here, trying to advance position. She's not really punching much. Or if she does, she's punching to the body, punching to the rib cage. Um, but yeah, Hebos is just kind of holding on here. So not much going on, but man, Dern's on top and she looks good. So yeah, this is where, like I said, go ahead and live bet Dern. If she got that takedown and it was easy, she got it in like the first 2 minutes. Yeah, end of the first round. Hebos chucked her arms up for some reason. Maybe just because she survived, but she definitely lost that round. Um, Yes, round one to Dern, and man, Hebos better do something different. And now your striking is going to get even worse because now you're worried about the takedown. And now you know that not only can she get you down, she can hold you down. So you definitely don't want to get taken down. Like I said, that turns strikers into like a white belt or whatever. Like it just it makes them a lot worse when the threat of the takedown's available. Yeah, Hebos is kind of just nodding to her corner. She knows she made a mistake. And what she did, she let Dern just get too close. She let Dern to get too close, and Dern took her down, and she didn't have a chance of getting back up. See, if that was anybody else that took her down, Hebos probably would have been able to work her jujitsu, but not against Mackenzie Dern. All right, center of the octagon, round two. Both trade leg kicks. Hebos is very, very jumpy and moving all over the place with her hands. Oh, Dern shoots in for a takedown. Hebos sweeps. She goes for a judo toss and gets it. So she is actually on top of Dern now, but not the worst place in the world for Dern either. And that's the good thing about Dern. Like you can run in for a takedown, and even if it gets reversed, you're only on the ground, which is almost where you want to be anyways. You'd rather be on top, but at least you're on the ground. And Hebos is staying there, but Dern, she ain't going to no close guard. She's active off her back. Hebos, you could tell, is like terrified of opening her arms to punch. She's doing the little elbows to the rib cage, but it's not really doing much. Dern looks like she's got one underhook. Somebody's cut too. I think Hebos might be cut because Dern has blood in her chest area, some blood dripping down there. So I'm assuming it's coming from Hebos's head dripping down on her. Okay, now Dern goes to more of a closed guard, but man, her hips are always moving. That's how you can tell like a good jujitsu girl. Like her hips are always moving. She's never flat on her back. Good top pressure from Hebos. And now Dern, she's trying to get back to the fence, but I don't know, she's kind of comfortable being here. She's losing the round. I don't think she expected to be here at all, but Hebos just looked like she did a little headbutt there. Yeah, they're just not throwing much. This is just but Dern's trying more. Like Dern is now she's got the I don't know what position you'd call that, but she's almost on her side with her knees up, but Hebos is like still on top of her, but now she's more of on her side than on her back. But Dern's been on her back for about 2 minutes, but she's never been on her back. Her hips are always moving. She's always moving. She's not just staying there. So some judges could probably give her some offensive points for that. because Hebos isn't doing much, but she is landing those little ground and pounds, like 1, 2 to the body, and then one up to the head that doesn't really land. She's doing that, so they're not going to stand her up, and she probably is winning the round. Dern threw a nice elbow from the bottom. Hebos still with that heavy pressure. Um, Now Dern's just kind of grabbing the back of her head. Now Dern's in more of like a closed guard. Doing the little thigh strikes with the heel of her foot. She's got one butterfly hook in. Dern does on the bottom. I think she lost it. Wow. I can't believe Hebos has been able to hold her down like this. I didn't know she was this strong on top position like this. Oh, Dern goes omoplata. Omoplata, she uses it to reverse and she gets it. And she still kind of has the omoplata in there. Wow. So now they're in kind of a 50-50 position, but I would say more of like a 60-40 in Dern's favor. Dern's got a few of her limbs locked up. I can't even describe the position. Like, if you know what an omoplata is, she has her arm in that, but they're rolling around. So, like, one's on top at one point, but like Dern's on the bottom now. Jesus. Dern is behind her on the bottom, but has her limbs tied up. So I don't know if you would consider that an advantageous position or whatever. Now Dern uses it to sweep. Now Dern's on top. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those positions where like Hebos was technically on top, but she didn't have the position and she was going to get swept eventually, which she did. Now Dern's on top with heavy pressure. Round comes to an end, so she got to sweep there with like 30 seconds. Hebos throws her hands up in the air. Should be 1-1. But man, this is a really good fight. And this is high level stuff right here. This is some people might say like it's not a very exciting fight. This is very exciting, and it's very difficult. Like I always say, if you want to see a real exciting fight, get two unskilled fighters in there. They'll give you a real exciting fight because they don't know how to defend themselves. These girls are top level. I she don't look too bad, but if there's anybody's gas tank that I'm worried about, it's Mackenzie Dern's. I know she's done this. She's gone 5 rounds before, but just her build kind of scares me a little bit with all this grappling. My freaking uncle from Pittsburgh just texted me, Moose. Shout out Pat Fryermuth. He probably got 6 drops in the game already. So round 2 starting, center of the octagon. Both striking. Man, Mackenzie Dern throws a head kick that doesn't land, throws a jab that does. Hebos answers with a jab. Hebos with a low leg kick attempt. Dern with a low leg kick. Hebos answers with a low leg kick. Hebos has got a little knot above her right eye. Dern looks so comfortable on the feet. She's almost dictating where the fight goes on the feet, which I did not expect. Now Hebos is coming forward, but man, the lateral movement of Dern, I'm just going to keep saying, I'm so impressed. Dern goes for the takedown. Oh, she almost got it, and then Hebos got the underhook and tried to judo toss her. That didn't work either. So now they're just up against the cage with Hebos's back up against the cage. So Dern is in control here, trading in her knees. Dern's are doing a little better. A little bit of dirty boxing going on. Not much going on. I mean, Hebos has an overhook, but Dern has her hands clasped. Dern goes for a takedown and gets reversed again. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it happens. I don't know how you're not strong enough to not let her reverse that position on you. Now Hebos is on top again. Same thing as last round. Same exact thing as last round. I mean, if you have your hands clasped against a girl and you're a lot stronger than them, you should be able to take them down. She had one overhook on her that shouldn't be enough to whiz her down and reverse the position. Now Hebos is on top, not doing much once again, but she's on top and Dern's making no attempt to get up. She's just kind of sitting there in guard. She's got one butterfly in, going for two. She's got both butterfly hooks in now, and she should use this to push off. Oh, she's grabbing an arm. Hebos left her arm in there. Dern's got this. She's not pulling on it yet. Now she's grabbing behind Hebos's leg. She's got an armbar locked in. As soon as she pulls, Dern's just holding there right now. As soon as that arm extends, I think Dern's going to get this. I can't tell where the elbow is. Yeah, I know. Like I need Burn for this. Like Burn would be like, "No, her elbow's not in far enough. It's not going to happen." But man, I see. It's just the position they are. I can't tell where her elbow is. But yeah, I don't think she's got it anymore. But for a second there, she's doing, I think, what they call stacking her up. But if she extends that arm, Dern's not letting go of it. If she extends that arm, Dern's going to get this arm bar. And Dern could also just pull it away. She's pulling on the back of Hebos's leg to try to get more leverage or whatever, or she's using it for a sweep. Okay. Now Dern's got her flipped over, and Dern is on top now, almost in a crucifix position. But she still has the arm. She's going to pull. So she's kind of sitting on her. Now Dern's in full mount. Wow. What a turnaround. So she used the submission for the sweep and then got into full mount. That's amazing. That is great. Especially like I said, these are two high girl. Yeah, I know, Burn. You would definitely appreciate that sweep. That was amazing. And I love doing that because in MMA it's very hard to get submissions. So if you can, just use them to sweep. So now Dern's going to end up stealing this round with that sub attempt. She's on top. She's in full mount. She landed a couple of punches, and she's still threatening with subs. She's still looking for that arm. She goes for it right at the end of the round. 10 seconds left. If she can pull it out, she's got her kind of in the cruiser. She's got the arm. Oh, she tapped with 4 seconds left. Dern by sub. Wow. Wow, great fight for Dern. That was huge for her. I wish I would have bet her. Man, good fight for Dern. She wants the kids in the octagon and everything. Man, like I said before this fight, like I give Dern the benefit of the doubt that she's just getting better. She's just getting better. She's had nothing but tough fights in the UFC. Shout out to Mackenzie Dern. I kind of shit on her when she first got in the UFC. I thought her striking was horrible. And I don't even know if her striking was that good today, but her movement on the feet. You don't have to have good hands in this sport. You got to have great feet though if you want to be stand up. And that's what she had. Her movement was excellent on the feet. And then you get her to the ground like this is nothing surprising here. This is what Dern does. But I'm shocked at how she looked on the feet. So she goes for the submission attempt because she knows if she doesn't get it, there's only 11 seconds left and it doesn't matter about the position. Just it's such high level MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to call it. It's such high level from Dern to do that. She goes all out, puts all the effort in because she knows there's only a couple seconds left in the round, and she got it. A hell of a performance by Dern. This was a good card. Yeah. Yeah, now she's got her daughter in there. Look, she's friggin' stoked. Good for Mackenzie Dern. I hope this leads to something very big for Dern. I know there's not a lot of top level women's MMA. There's just not a lot of top level girls in the UFC. Like Mackenzie Dern can beat anybody because she has that jujitsu, and now I believe her striking is good enough that she's able to defend herself. So you tie that in with that ground game, she could beat anybody in the world. I'm not saying I'd favor her against anybody, but she can beat anybody in the world. Yeah, I know. Like her whole family. Isn't her husband her husband's definitely an MMA fighter too. Yeah, I think even Islam Makhachev would admit Dern deserves her black belt. Who give her black belt? But yeah, that's it. Nice card. I'll just do a quick little recap here of all the of what happened and how he did from a betting aspect. Man, just so happy for Dern. I'm so happy for her too because you could tell how much work she put in the gym. Like, I know she didn't have hardly any striking before she got to the UFC, and her striking looked good tonight. She looked so good on the feet. Uh, all right, I'm gonna. All right, so let's go through our wins losses today. Elioff beats Joe Selecki. Elioff actually, so he won the first two rounds, and then I believe Selecki won the third. But Elioff looked pretty good. He's not that exciting of a fighter, but he is very dominant. Then we have Fatima Klein. She looked really good. I didn't really pick that fight. I mean, obviously, I would have picked for Klein to win. I just said to stay away from it because Dudakova had a lot of potential at one point. She just turns out she ain't that good of a fighter. But Lopez beating Gasilov, that was our one loss. Gasilov was, he was minus 290. The guy just gassed out. And he's from Dagestan. He doesn't know how to wrestle. He got out wrestled by a friggin' Muay Thai fighter. Bruno Lopez came in there, tried to strike with Gasilov, lost the first round. Next two rounds, he just went to taking Gasilov down. And Bruno Lopez does not have a wrestling background. So look to fade this Gasilov guy. He's really good with his karate, but he doesn't have a lot of power, and he doesn't have a gas tank. That's a concoction to lose a lot of fights in the UFC. Let me see. You can't see anything, Gino? Oh, shoot, my bad. No, I did the screen share. You should be able to see it. Do you see it now? All right. So this Karakate, she lost a very close split decision. I'm very impressed with both of these girls here. Kalari and Karakate. Karakate wins by a split decision, but Karakate was 6 inches taller than this chick, and she beat her. Yeah, I think it just lags sometimes. Jacoby Smith looked phenomenal today. He won with a knockout in the first round, and he's an Oklahoma State wrestler. So having that in your background, having DC in your corner, the sky's the limit for this Jacoby Smith. Be looking to bet this guy. See, this is another guy, like the odds were high on him, minus 580. Well, if if they had this fight next year, he'd be minus like 1,200. So to me, that's where you get value on these blue chip prospects. Um, this was my biggest bet of the night. Thiago Moises, absolutely free money against Trey Ogden. Ogden did come out and win the first round. Thiago Moises training with the fighting nerds now. Don't bet against that camp, please don't. Um, Marco Tulio beat probably the worst guy in recent memory that's ever fought in the UFC, Ihor Pateria. That guy stinks. He got knocked out in the first round. He complained of an eye poke. He almost tried to quit and get out of the fight. He missed weight in his last two fights. Get this guy out of the UFC. He's 2-6 in the UFC, and one of those wins is against Shogun Rua. Get him out of there. You know, you cut my boy Muhammad Mokai off, and then you leave guys like this in the UFC. Marco Tulio looked pretty good, though. Marco Tulio looked good. He's a good stand-up kickboxer. Jose Johnson, I did not know this about this fight, but this Felipe Buenos guy, he trains with the Pitbull brothers. And so Pitbull brothers, you know, they're going to have good striking and good submissions. This Jose Johnson guy who claimed that he had over 100 amateur fights got Buenos pretty much fell to the ground, and Jose Johnson hopped on top of him. Apparently he was confident in his wrestling or whatever, but like he got caught in a stupid armbar and he just couldn't get out of it. But like, don't go to the ground with him if you don't think your game's that good, and your game's obviously not. That was our second loss in that one. So, but that one wasn't a bad loss, only minus 180. And then Puliano Soriano, I actually switched my pick. I know on the previews I said Erdos Medic was going to knock him out, but I switched my pick because Puliano Soriano, I didn't realize trains at Extreme Couture, and Extreme Couture is a wrestling gym, so I knew he had that in his background. But these guys just came and just clashed, and it was just whoever lands first. I did say that in my prediction. Whoever lands first getting knocked out. They both had the same style. Soriano landed first, knocked him out cold within the first 30 seconds. This was the biggest disappointment of the night. Austin Bashir, I honestly think he ruined his career tonight by taking this fight against Christian Rodriguez. He got absolutely dominated. He didn't even win the wrestling exchanges. He got pieced apart on the feet. 23-year-old prospect. Nice job, matchmakers from the UFC. This guy's career, just fade this guy the rest of his career. He can't do anything else but wrestle. Christian Rodriguez did look very good, though. And now he's beaten Raul Rojas Jr., Isaac Dolgarian, and now this guy. He took out 3 hype jobs. I mean, Rojas is still going to be a good fighter. This Bashir guy, I don't think so. Maybe they should have him and Rojas fight next. Rojas, I'll take Rojas minus like 700. Yeah, then Kopylov gets the win against Chris Curtis. Amazing fight. Gets that knockout late. Cesar Almeida gets the knockout against Abdul Rakassan. Ponzinibbio, crazy win there. And then Dern in the main event. Just a good night of fights. That was a really good card for having next to no star power on there. But I'm going to go ahead and end this thing. I got to get something to eat. I got to catch up on this Steelers game. And yeah, not too bad for my first little watch along. I'll be trying to do these every weekend. I'll be doing more boxing ones when the good fights happen. But yeah, this was fun. And I'm going to go ahead and end this thing. You guys Thanks for hanging around, guys, and have a good night. And I'm going to end it.